I have the time as 7:33, so I will call the public hearing and regular business meeting of the mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia for Monday, July 24th, 2023 to order. We do have a quorum. All council members are present, I think. Are we missing? And Todd. Can somebody run out and see where they are? I thought we had a quorum.
You want to take bets what they're doing?
Let's go, guys. Yes. Well, your work is in here. Okay, so now we have everybody here. All right, we'll start with the invocation tonight to be given by Chaplain Jackie Turner. Chaplain.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Almighty God, the creator of heaven and earth, nothing in this world catches you by surprise. You knew that we would be gathered here today long before we planned it. Thank you for opening up doors for us to have a chance to discuss important issues. Protect us from beginning to end. Shield us from evil discussions and help us walk in the path that you have set for us. Send your angels to encamp about this place and protect us from the evil one. Lord, we choose to hide under your wings today and forever. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Turner. And now, if you will stand for the pledge to be led by our own Solange Destaing. Thank you all. And we have nothing under ceremonial matters, so we'll move to the minutes. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the July 10, 2023 meetings.
There's a motion to approve the minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
So motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We have no invited guests or committee or department reports, so we'll move to the approval of the agenda. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve tonight's agenda, July 24th, 2023.
Okay, there's a motion to approve the agenda as it's presented. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. So we have item A under our public hearing, we have item A, second reading, RZ 23-03, SUP 23-02. I will read the heading, but this has been requested to be postponed. The heading reads as follows: Consideration and recommendation on applications by Split Silk Properties LLC, the applicant, representing High Point Development, the contract purchaser, and the Kroger Company, the property owner, requesting to amend the official zoning map from BG General Business District to MU Mixed Use District and special use permit and variances from the Unified Development Ordinance for a mixed use development consisting of 300 stacked flat units, 200 single-family residential townhomes, and 51,000 square feet of commercial retail buildings on a 22.85 plus or minus acre site located at the intersection of US Highway 78 and Rosebud Road, 1000 Highway 78, Snellville, Georgia, and that is tax parcel 5100065. I think there were a few other issues that the developer was to work out, and they've asked for a postponement to the next meeting. So is there a motion?
Madam Mayor, make a motion that we move RZ 23-03 and SUP 23-02 to the next regular scheduled meeting of the Mayor and Council of the City of Snellville, which is August the 14th. For
Okay,
public hearing.
there's a motion to postpone until August the 14th. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion and a second. So I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. So we'll hold the public hearing and public comment on that rezoning on the August 14th date. We have item B is a second reading, RZ 23-04, consideration and recommendation on application by B.H. Johnson, B.J. Longnecker, and L.J. Yates, the property owners, requesting to amend the official zoning map from RS 30 Single Family Residential District to RS 15 Single Family Residential District to subdivide the existing 1.044 plus or minus acre undeveloped property into 2 lots at 2625 Beverly Lane, Snellville, Georgia, and that is tax parcel 5027-001B. Mr. Thompson.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council. And looks like we'll be without our presentation device this time. But if you look at your packets, I'll try to be a little more descriptive about what we have going on. But the subject property is located on Lenore Church Road in the intersection of Beverly Lane and on the corner and included in an older established neighborhood back in the 60s, I believe. This lot is a little bit over an acre and is presently zoned RS 30, which requires a 30,000 square foot lot per home. The applicant, after looking over the market, land values and new home values, started about 3 years ago on his quest to sell the property that was once part of his family estate that originally lived on that street. And what he found was that in order to split it and get 2 lots, they were little too small. So instead of sending him to get a variance, we recommended that given the nature of the property, its location, and its minimal need for just a little bit more space, to just rezone into RS15, which only requires 15,000 square foot lots where 2 homes can still comfortably sit and have plenty of space to access Beverly and then ultimately Lenore Church. And it's pretty much as simple as that. I mean, a new home investment would be good for the area, so we recommend approval.
Are there any council questions for Mr. Thompson?
One, Jason, does that property have sewer connections or is it on septic?
I'm not certain. Yes, sewer? Yes. Awesome. Yeah, sewer.
That's that sewer.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
I wasn't sure with it being so old.
My house is septic.
Yeah, I think there was a judge that lived down there for a while too.
Still does.
Does he? Okay, good.
Any other questions of council for Mr. Thompson? Thank you, Jason. Is the applicant present? You have 15 minutes to state your case. You can save your time for rebuttal.
Yeah, I don't think it'll take that long. My name is Bobby Bullard. I live at 3790 Kennewall Drive, Snellville, Georgia. And it's good to see you all this evening. This is a pretty simple project. Mr. Johnson in the back there owns the property, and it is wants to divide it into 2 lots. And it still is well over the, it's very close to half an acre, close to like 20,000 square feet. It's like 19,998 for the lot on the left. And the drive at the Planning Commission, there was a lot of discussion about the drive, and it apparently when you come off of the Henry Clower Boulevard and you take a right, most people are expecting to accelerate, and as they accelerate, the people who live here have to slow down, and the people who are accelerating sometimes don't like that. And so that was most of what was talked about last time, was that issue. There also was an issue with when the children are there at the bus stop, all the trees right there in that area, they felt like that was kind of a foresty area for the kids to be. And I'll let them talk about more about what they have issues with. The two things I want to say to respond to that is, first of all, this is just one house, and it's one additional house, and the driveway will be, it's 120 feet of frontage, but it will be like 135 feet from the travel lane. From Lenore Road is where the property line is. So we want to encourage, as he gets his driveway permit, and is to go ahead and push that driveway as close to Lot 2 as possible, just to get it further away from the road. And then the other thing is they will be required to add sidewalks, which I think that will help with the bus stop issues. And I just, unless you have any other questions, it's pretty simple. So,
Thank you. Was it Fuller?
Bullard.
Bullard.
Yes.
Get your name right here. Are there any council questions for Mr. Bullard?
Yeah, I have one. We have approximately a 1 acre lot with one house on it currently.
Right. It's one.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit over an acre.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're going to divide that in half, and we're going to add one house, and the existing house stays as it is?
Let me ask Mr. Johnson.
There's no house. The property currently is totally vacant.
Okay, there's no house, okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Bullard from the council?
Just to clarify, the driveways would come out on Beverly Lane, not
Yes,
not
definitely.
onto Lenora Church. So that would
Definitely.
not.
No.
Okay.
That wouldn't be a good idea. And to clarify the sewer, if you have a site plan, there is a sewer manhole right there in the front where it says Blair Road, and then Lenora Church Road is actually another sewer line. So the two lots would actually connect to two different sewer lines.
Okay, any other questions of the council for Mr. Bullard? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, this item is a public hearing, so we will open the floor to public comment. If anyone would like to speak either for or against this project, please come forward. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Barry Wiggs. I live at 2210 Stockton Walk Lane, Snellville, Georgia. I actually just have a question on this. Is the square footage on the homes going to be consistent with the square footage of the homes that's already in the subdivision, or is it just going to be the 1,000 square foot minimum?
I believe we're only addressing the actual split of the two lots. We're
Oh,
not
okay. Well, I mean,
approving
but
any homes.
that would be part of that. Not? Okay, I mean, that's
That's
just a
fine.
question.
Those standards are the same. Square footages are set.
Microphone.
The square footages are set in the zoning for the zoning, so they're not required to build a 3,000 square foot house if that's what's there. I think it's like 1,800 or 2,000 depending on how many stories it has.
Okay, so the square footage of the house will go according to the zoning,
Correct.
what's allowed in the zoning. Okay?
Which, Mr. Thompson, that'll match what is existing in the neighborhood?
What's existing there? 18 to 2,600, I would
Yeah.
say yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
That's your standard box, is 2,200 square feet. Typically 2 stories you got to get now.
Okay, anyone else for public comment, either for or against? Seeing none, then I will close the public hearing portion of this zoning action. And we are ready to make a motion.
Madam Mayor, make a motion that we approve RZ 23-04 with the conditions as put forth by the meeting of the Planning Commission and in our ordinance as it's in our packet.
Okay, so there is a motion to approve the rezoning. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second for approval. Any comments by council? All right, then all in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. Congratulations. We have nothing under our consent agenda and no old business, so we'll move. We've got 3 items under new business. We have item A, consideration and action on approval of resolution 2023-12, adoption of the 2023 millage rate, which is being proposed at 4.00 mils. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 2023-12, the 2023 millage rate of 4.00 mils.
There is a motion to adopt a millage rate of 4.0 mils. Is there a second?
Second.
I got Dave just a little quicker. So we have a motion and a second to approve a 4.0 millage rate. Just want to let you all know, so the millage rate is what we set, which is the calculation that we use then to determine your property tax amount based on your home value. And we've had this 4.0 millage rate for
This will be our
second year at this.
4.588 last year.
We did have it at 4.588. Last year, we reduced it to 4, and this year we're maintaining that 4.0 millage rate. Based on, we use that as the projection for our property tax revenues, which is what was proposed in our budget that we passed for in June. So we have a motion and a second to approve 4.0 mils. So I will call for the vote. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. So I think the property tax bills will be going out next month, August, September? September. Okay, so now we have item B. Under new business, consideration and action on award of the sidewalk project for Skyland Drive, Pinehurst Road. These 2 sidewalk projects we've been working on for quite a while now and trying to get all of the easements and everything that are necessary. As you can imagine, on Pinehurst and on Skyland, there's a lot of driveways. So there's a lot of easements that need to be gotten, a lot of mailboxes as well that we have to consider in there too. So we do have, the bid was put out on these projects, and we do have a bidder. So I will leave it. Goodness, I'm just losing my train of thought here. Who wants to make a motion for the sidewalk bid? Yes, I'm still in vacation mode here.
Go ahead. Okay, well, Madam Mayor, I would make a motion that we accept the low bid of, is the bid the $2,248,879.60, which will be paid from ARPA funds with the county support of $800,000?
That is correct.
Okay, then that what?
But you need to name the contractor.
Is it on here? Backbone Infrastructure LLC, pardon me.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve the bid by Backbone Infrastructure LLC in the amount of $2,248,879.60. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. Yay! Excited to see these sidewalks moving forward. They've been on the drawing board for quite a number of years. Now we have item C, consideration and action on approval of an amendment to the waste management contract to allow for a rate increase. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the amendment to the waste management contract to allow for a 4% COLA and contract change, and to authorize the mayor to sign the contract after it is reviewed by the city attorney.
Okay, so there is a motion to allow for the 4% increase on sanitation. Is there a second?
Second.
There is a motion and a second. So all in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. Okay, so we made it through the business meeting, so we'll move to council reports, and we'll start with Councilmember Solange Destang.
Hello, everybody. So as you know, we as a council have been working very hard on getting us the best community center that we can get on this side of town. I'm very excited about this because actually in 2019, when I was running for this seat, that was one of the items that was on my platforms that, I was going with. I really wanted to see a youth center here in our city, let's say youth center / community center. I really want a place where the youth, just to take them out of the streets and maybe perhaps giving them more extensive, when I say extensive learning, but it's more where somebody can be with them and help them out with their homework and things like that, having them engage maybe in a sport. So, and that is something good that I feel that we need to have in our cities. I had the opportunity on Friday, this past Friday, to visit 2 community centers. One was in Dalton, the other one in Eckwood. And I was more blown away with the one of Eckwood because I think it offers a little bit more than the one in Dalton. I did not get a chance, however, to go to the one in Sewanee. From what I understand from Lisa Platt, she said that is actually like a middle, or it's a little bit of Dalton and a little bit of Eckwood. So, but I'm going to look at that. I will go on my own and get that checked out and see. But again, they're all unique in their own way. So this is something that we can look forward to finally have a youth center or community center, as some of you guys will call it, in our city. So I'm ecstatic about it, especially as a teacher, to see this come to fruition. Also, I just want to remind you all that school is going to start next week, August 2nd. That will be on my birthday. Happy birthday with the students coming back. Please be mindful, of course, of driving over the speed limit. Please be careful. The buses are already practicing their routes. And also, if you have any additional school supplies that, sitting around your house, I guess, or they're still sitting in the stores and you're thinking about what you can do, go ahead and just purchase a few school supplies and you can drop them off at our school, okay? So our students can use it. So on that note, I want to thank you again for coming out tonight, and I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Drive safe. God bless. Take care.
Thank you, Solange. Christy Linsky?
All right. To add a little bit more to the community center discussion, Natalie Brown-Van is very interested in bringing on a youth component with Snellville Youth Commission. Absolutely something that we'd like to have in the city as more of a permanent fixture. And we did get the opportunity. I did get to go to the Sewanee site as well in the community center. So we did get some fabulous ideas, some things that we should not do, some things to do, some, pitfalls and strengths, weaknesses of those particular developments. I hope that all of you were able to come out on Saturday in the heat and the rain and a little bit of the mud. We had an awesome concert. The group was called Landslide, cover band, tribute band for Fleetwood Mac. They were outstanding, and somehow Kelly got the mud to look a little better, and we had Landslide not so much, I guess, just in musical purposes only. So great job once again with a fabulous event. The Christmas Decoration Holiday Decor Committee has been meeting with a lot of hard work. We did our presentation of our recommendations today in our work session. So Gretchen and Kelly McAloon and Craig Barton have been working on that, meeting with vendors, trying to figure out what exactly is the best course of action for our city as it grows and changes. And we want to look good for the holidays, and we want it to be impressive, and we want it to be a place where people come to take pictures, showstoppers, and a meeting place for this community, because we deserve it, you deserve it. And we, of course, are planning some new decor for the new Grove areas. And as we continue to change over the next few years, we just feel like the best course of action would be to proceed with a leasing contract rather than purchasing large amounts of Christmas decor, holiday decor that sits in warehouses for 9 to 10 months out of the year, and that we rely on our volunteers and our Public Works department. Public Works has many, many other things to do, but we want to outsource this work. It's what we're going to be looking at. So adding some existing area decor as well as bringing on the Grove. So thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Gretchen. And Solange was on there in the beginning to help us a little bit too, to come up with this set of recommendations. And we hope it's going to look fabulous when we get into October, November.
Thank you, Christy. Councilmember Gretchen Schultz.
Well, I'm sorry our device doesn't work tonight to show photos. I had 2 photos I was excited to show you. The first one you would have enjoyed. It was 2 little girls from my neighborhood. They live 2 doors down from us, and they had a lemonade stand at our neighborhood pool on Saturday. And the picture I wanted to show you was 2 of our Snellville police officers stopped by to buy lemonade from these little girls, and it was just a sweet picture. The 2 that stopped by were Corporal Montero and Detective Martinez. And I just really appreciate the Snellville Police taking the time for something like that, to just to interact with these little girls that wanted to sell lemonade. It just meant the world to them, and I really appreciate that. The second picture I wanted to show you was a picture of lots of tomatoes. And while that's not so exciting, the picture was of tomatoes that the community garden took to the co-op today. And it was a very impressive amount of tomatoes. And I want to add that last week, the community garden donated more than 100 pounds of tomatoes and cucumbers to the co-op. So the gardeners there are not only busy growing vegetables and flowers for themselves, but also taking the time to really cultivate the beds for the co-op and then transport those items to the co-op. And I'm just very appreciative of the work that they do on behalf of the co-op. I want to remind everybody that tomorrow night, 6 to 8 p.m. is the Snellville Tourism and Trade Business After Hours, and it's on the terrace of the Thrive, which is on the second floor of the library building. And this will be a wonderful opportunity for you to see Thrive, which is a co-working space there above the library. It's going to be a great evening. It'll be a great chance to see what this Thrive co-working space looks like. You can park in the new parking deck, and that will let you out right by the library entrance, and you go up to the second floor. So what am I not saying, Kelly? There'll be signage, okay. But they'll have light appetizers and beverages, and I think it'll be a very enjoyable evening. So thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you, Gretchen. Councilmember Emanuel?
Thank you. I want to follow on with a mention of our Snellville Police Department. Nick Moore and Megan Hercules, 2 officers, were involved in kind of some bumper cars going up and down some of our roads, and they pitted this guy 3 times before they finally got him to stop. But it's just the dedication of our police officers that they're going to apprehend somebody who's doing things they shouldn't do, and it keeps us all safe, and they always just seem to go above and beyond, and this is just the latest example. So if you see any of our police officers, just say thank you, because they consistently just do an outstanding job. And I'd also like to compliment Christy for her excellent work on the Christmas presentation. We had emails showing all kinds of photos of what they had looked at, and Gretchen was in there helping her as well, and they've just done an excellent job as usual, and just want to thank them. And I think come this Christmas time, we'll all see the fruits of their labor, and we'll all be very happy. I think we'll still have an upside down ice cream cone in the middle, but what things they've picked out are going to be really spectacular. They've just done an excellent job. So thank you all for attending, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Dave. And Mayor Pro Tem Warner?
Well, I'm just glad to welcome the mayor back, because that means I thought I was going to have an easy night, but evidently not. What? Oh, I'm sorry, our esteemed mayor. The mayor missed out on all the esteemed last time. We steamed everybody. The Snellville Police Department is second to none, and one of the best investments we ever made was these interesting brush guards on the front of all of our police cars. So when they do the pit maneuvers, we don't have to buy a new car every time. And I am amazed that people don't understand that if you're pulled over for driving without a license or driving without insurance, you get a ticket. It's a small fine, and you go on your way, usually. If you are driving without insurance or driving without your license, and you decide to try to flee, you are now a felon, and you are going to have some serious repercussions. So please, especially your younger members of your family, let them know that it's better to have a ticket than it is to have a record. And it saves us money in cars. Even though we have the pit maneuver, the brush guards on the front, you bang them up a little bit. And it's wear and tear on our officers too. There may be 1 or 2 who think it's high fun, but it's very nerve-wracking whenever you have to pursue someone. The mayor and I were contacted by our state representative, who was lucky enough to have been on 124 and had a gentleman coming straight at him because he was running from the police for the simple fact that he ran a stop sign. And it turns out he didn't have insurance. And he would have gone home that night to his family with a couple of tickets, but instead he got to go to jail. And it's going to be with him the rest of his life for the simple fact that he was afraid to pull over. I find that quite sad. I want to thank the members of council and staff and Kelly McAloon who worked so hard on the Christmas decorations. What they neglected to say is our Public Works Department currently spends from Halloween all the way to Thanksgiving doing nothing but putting up putting up our Christmas decorations. And by going to a third-party vendor that we will lease the material from, we not only save ourselves from having to store the material, repair the material, but also we're not going to be putting our city employees out for a full month doing nothing but putting up Christmas decorations, which is very important. I look forward to having the most glorious city in Gwinnett County, but our people need to be able to get their jobs done too, so that'll benefit everyone in the city because the level of service will go up. We did discuss updates to our recycling policy. Were you going to talk about that, Mayor? And we have now made sure that anyone who decides they want to join the recycling program can do so at any time of the year. You contact Public Works and they will prorate you through the end of the year. So it's not going to be that little window that if you forgot, like some of us, to sign up, or we weren't sure which house we were going to be at, that you'll be able to sign up for the service at whatever time is convenient for you. And it appears that the new program is really providing dividends, and hopefully we'll hear about that at our next regularly scheduled meeting. So thank you very much for coming out tonight. We appreciate your attention and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Todd, and I'll keep my report short. I appreciate council and Todd for taking over for me. I was out at the last meeting on a little vacation, and I've still got vacation brain, obviously, floating around here. Just want to mention, just another reminder that the city's centennial celebration will be August the 18th and 19th. So festivities will be going on Friday night and then on Saturday. So if you would pick up the Spirit magazine out in the lobby, and it will give you all of the details there. But we'd appreciate everybody coming out and spending that time with us so that we can bring in our next 100 years in good fashion. With that, I will close my report and I will open the floor to public comment. Anyone who would like to speak? Name and address for the record, please. 5 minutes on one topic.
It will only take 5 seconds. Kelly McAloon, 2916 Overwood Lane, Snellville. Just as a reminder, because this just came in and we have it all clarified, but the Miller's Ale House, we will have a ribbon cutting there on Monday, July 31st at 11 a.m. So everybody put it on your calendar. We'll get all the information out tomorrow. Get the artwork out. Brian will send it out with the city. I'll send it out on social media. So we just want everybody to be aware that's here tonight because it is such short notice. And then right after them, I know that City Barbecue has reached out too, so they'll be coming right behind them in August. So we're excited. A lot of great things happening in the city. So,
and that was 11
a.m. Monday, July 31st at Miller's Ale House. Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Oh, no.
Honorable Mayor and esteemed council members, I am Norman A. Carter Jr. I reside at 2777 Nathaniel Way in Grayson, Georgia, which is part of Snellville. and I am Snellville proud. Last year, I stood before City Council shortly after the Juneteenth celebration of 2022 that occurred on city grounds to criticize what I saw and heard. Last year's event circumvented normal procedures for city events. When things went wrong, such as no porta potties, the city was blamed. Not only was the city blamed, but the entirety of City Council and the mayor were publicly called racist. This is not hearsay, I was there. At the council meeting on July 10th, 2023, many of you saw a slide presentation of the Juneteenth celebration on the town green. Unlike any Snellville-sponsored event, an entire segment of Snellville's population was excluded. Before and after the event in public meetings, you heard this was an event held in part to honor Black fathers. You cannot walk that back. Imagine the countrywide outrage if an event occurred on city property to honor white fathers. If anyone applauded that, they would have been labeled as racist. If the corollary is abhorrent, then the original proposition is equally abhorrent. Neither should be applauded by anyone. What is the purpose of Father's Day? Snellville leaders, this is a city where everybody is proud to be somebody. Pride cannot be based on specious innuendo that has no place in this building nor in this city. That has been done 2 consecutive years on Snellville's town green. Let's get some facts straight. The Emancipation Proclamation signed on January 1, 1863, freed 3.5 million slaves in the 10 states of the rebellion. It did not apply to Kentucky, Missouri, Maryland, and Delaware, which boasted about 500,000 slaves. June 19, 1865, only applied to Galveston, Texas. It marked the day they received the proclamation, snail mail. The remaining slaves were not freed until December 18, 1865, when the 13th Amendment went into effect. American History 101. The Juneteenth national holiday was an ill-thought-out, rapid attempt to mollify loud but historically ignorant voices after the murder of George Floyd. It's a national example of haste makes waste. The eventual freeing of slaves should not be just an African-American celebration. It must be incorporated into every July 4th celebration. The 13th Amendment showed America trying to right a wrong. The ending of slavery, which existed in every industrialized country in this world, was a testimony of America's effort to work toward a more perfect union. That work continues. The founders of our country knew more work had to be done, and they left this directive for succeeding generations to work toward the goal of liberty and justice for all. Hold people accountable for what they do today, not for what someone else did decades or even centuries ago. Otherwise, we remain stuck in the muck of ignorance and selfishness. Did you know that a man with a 6-foot snake that appeared to be a constrictor was placing that snake around the necks of children at our event this year? Are you aware of the state law about such conduct? Look it up. Accountability. Fact, this was not a Snellville-sponsored event. In this forum, you heard, "Look what I did," rather than "Look what we did." You heard, "I received a proclamation," when it should have been, "The city received a proclamation." Subtle, but telling. It's purposely divisive. It's Machiavellian. When some have no enemy, They have no purpose. Snellville, we can and should do better. An opportunity to give an honest depiction of Snellville was missed. Let's correct that error and move forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Hello, Mayor. Good to see you back. Councilman Warner, he tried to fill those shoes. No, but thank you for being back. Hello, everyone. I have a couple of questions. Let me pull up your camera doesn't work, but I took some photos of some areas that I wanted to highlight. These are glasses, so don't think I'm putting on my shade. Let me see. No, I'm taking it off. I see it. I'm taking it off. I just. Oh, I apologize. Ooh, child, you are absolutely right. You're right. My name is Catherine Hardrick. I reside at 2280 Buckley Trail, Snellville, Georgia, 30078. Thank you so much, because we do get stuck in it. So, June 19th was signed by President Joe Biden as a federal holiday. Now, 2234 Rawlings Street. It is an abandoned building on, when you get the 78 to 124 intersection? That old carpet building used to be the carpet depot. Now it's become a dump. There are some people who are residentially displaced. I took some photos, but we can't show it on the screen. Windows are busted. It's a lot of trash over there. So my question, if you can't answer it now, please send it to me in writing. What are we doing with that space? What is the city of Snellville doing with that space? What are your plans for that property? So I don't know if you can answer me tonight. If you can't, please send that to me in writing. And I do believe my email is on record with the city clerk. And the next thing is, I don't know if you spoke about the liquor applications for the package stores. What's the status of that? I know that a lot of applications, it was closed, June 5th? So where are we with that process? I would like that in writing as well, if you can't respond to that. Town Green, beautiful space. We're doing a lot of great things there. But the grass, if we can consider some alternatives on how we can keep that up, because we do like to just sit, read books, just come out with the family, throw the ball around, walk our dogs. But now that we're having all these activities, which we love, it doesn't look beautiful when we're finished with those activities. And so when you have 1,000 people on the green, you don't notice it. But when everyone leaves, now you have all of these pits and the tire marks and the mud. And so if we can think of maybe turf, like at the Battery that they have, or maybe look at some other spaces and just kind of see where it fits our budget and will be a balance between how we want to use it in Mother Nature. Because when everything is over with, we still want it to be beautiful so we can continue to use it for everyday use. So if we can do those things. And the BB&T, I believe that's the old bank, is right across the street from the racetrack. Pillows, again, are residentially displaced. They're like packs of hand wipes. I took pictures I can show you after the meeting if you would like to see them. But like you can see, it's starting to be a camping spot. And that's right in the city where we are trying to, build up in that space. I handed a gentleman some water who was just sitting at the bench right there, Oak Road in 124. And all of my errands I was running, he was there the entire time. So I don't know if we can I don't know what the game plan is to address this issue, but it's definitely here and it's at our front door. And yeah. these comments or something. We are definitely a community. We are definitely a community that is made up of Black, white, Hispanic, and some Asians. And when you look at the census doesn't lie, right? We have to acknowledge that Snellville is changing and will continue to change. We are a city that people want to live and play and raise their kids in. But we have to acknowledge that if we can celebrate Cinco de Mayo, we can celebrate Juneteenth. We can celebrate our Asian community. It does not mean that there is a division. It means that we are embracing all of our cultures. It is okay. It is okay to honor our Black men. It is okay to honor our Hispanic men. It is okay. Just because we uplift our own race does not mean we are disrespecting someone else's. It does not. And everybody is entitled to their own opinion. And we welcome that because that's what a democracy is. Just respectfully say your opinion and keep it moving. So thank you for listening to my comments. Thank you, Gretchen. Couldn't be at that farmer's market. My back was hurting and I wanted to be there so bad. But thank you everyone for all of what you're doing. And Snellville is an inclusive city. And we are all inclusive when we all acknowledge everyone, not just some. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, I will close the public comment and entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Solange. All in favor, please raise your hand. That is 6 in favor with none opposed. We are done. Thank you all for coming out.